Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Brickstop Live. Today, well, it's me, Jason, of course, always Jason, and then we got our co-host Jordan Perry in the house as well. Once again, I don't know who Jim is. I mean, it's the Jordan and Jason show now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, all the better for it.
Welcome. Jim is out today. He is just wrapping stuff up. He's a teacher, at a school. He's a music teacher, and so he's got a bunch of stuff he's kind of wrapping up for that. And so he's not able to make it today. But I think he's going to be able to get back on the schedule after this. But Jordan has been kind enough to spare us his time and jump in here. He's a buddy of mine. If you guys didn't see him last week, he came in and we talked about, what was it? Aqua Raiders.
Yeah.
And that was a good time. Got some lore. It was actually a lot of fun. But first and foremost, we're Castle Bros. So
that's right. What shirt are we rocking today? I got the
dude. Okay, well, does this count? This is the Army of Darkness, Groovy from the Evil Dead. I think that kind of counts as a Castle shirt.
Yeah, sure. We'll take it.
So I figured, why not jump into an actual castle talk with you? I mean, you're a big castle guy. I mean, that's kind of our thing. So
it's kind of our thing. I should say, first and foremost, castle people, but first and foremost for everybody overseas, especially since you have a lot of viewers in the UK. Congrats to England on getting through yesterday. Incredible game against Mexico, one of the best games of the tournament and one of the best soccer games I've ever seen. So great game.
Right on. Yeah, congrats, guys. So on that note, yes, we were gonna. So today, we're doing Bricklink Design Program castles. Basically, what that means is we're not doing the medieval ones. Like, we're just doing the castles. That being said, like, we're not doing the market, the port. There's like 3. That's the siege camp. Probably should have thrown the siege camp in because that's directly related to castle. But I'm just doing the buildings, the castles, and then I threw in my River Knights Tower. We'll throw that in at the end as kind of a bringing the show around to like our own builds and mods and things like that.
Love it.
I could probably pull in your slide from last time too if you wanted to go over those again. But this was a Bricklink design submission of mine, the first one I did, I think series 5. So we can look at that kind of at the end as a fun little, like, this is what you guys can do too, like build. So let's say hi to the chat and then we'll jump into the first castle. So we have Chris Jones in the chat. He says, good evening, fellow Lego fans. Looking forward to this one. I have most, if not all, of these sets, so hopefully this can encourage me to build another one of these. Wow, that's quite a little collection of Bricklink sets. These are kind of tricky to get a hold of sometimes. Josh says he's got mixed feelings about this. Happy for the show, though. All right, mixed feelings. Right. Yeah, you gotta drop those opinions. Spacer Nate's in the house. Castle FOMO.
Castles of FOMO.
Yeah, Crusader says howdy. And good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun. All right. I finally caught a stream. It says Prophet of Beans.
Glad you're here.
Yeah. And let's see. Crusader says only Bricklink castle I wanted was the River Knights castle. Well, look at that. I am gonna drop that in at the end. That was the one I did. I appreciate that, man.
That's fun.
Yes. So there it is. It's also my birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, woo! So I'm old now.
So for your birthday, you're gonna buy $180 worth of Lego tomorrow and get yourself a gift for purchase.
That's kind of. We'll see if we can swing that. That's kind of the idea, right?
All right. Reminder to all of our viewers that gift with purchase that we profiled last week, is live tomorrow along with VIP insiders, and there are actually a bunch of new parts on the online Pick a Brick wall as well.
So if you why don't you go into that a little bit? Let them know that you can get it through that as well, not just buying a big fat set.
Yeah, if there's not a set out there that tickles your fancy, which since we don't have any castle lines these days, for me, I'm always struggling to find sets that I'm really wanting to build.
Yep.
At least ones that are within a reasonable price range, right? We'd all love to have Minas Tirith, but not everybody can swing that. But you can actually just go on the Pick-a-Brick site and buy parts directly. And I've got a bunch of parts, new parts available. A couple of the ones I'm really excited about are the small leaf piece in dark green is now available.
Oh yeah, the little tiny leaf.
Not the small one that's like the 3 kind of fingered leaf plate, but the small branch part, not the big branch, but the small.
Oh, like branch. The original design?
It's in dark green now for the first time.
That's awesome.
And something that's really applicable to our castle friends. All of the new Crusader Knights those parts are on sale.
Nice. Yeah,
discount. The legs are only 30 cents and the torsos are only 58 cents. So you can build yourself a good army for pretty cheap. I've got 30 of each in the cart right now, and it's under $30.
That's incredible. Well, those are probably going to go quick too, because they're probably maybe cutting those off the prices to get rid of them. So
yeah,
I bet you they're moving out.
Yeah.
Well, grab a cart full of the Crusaders. For newer Lego fans, those are the Lion Knights, but the OGs know them as the Crusaders. So. And then this is the gift with purchase we're talking about. So this little one up in the top corner here, you can pick that up for $180. It comes free with that purchase, and that can be bricks and pieces or a Lego set. So I thought I'd throw that slide in there just because we have it. All right, we're going to jump into the first one. Now, Chris, I don't know. Do you got this one? This one's like the OG of OGs. This is before it was called Bricklink Design Program, but it's technically part of the series because this is what kind of kicked it all off. And this is Lowenstein Castle. Mm-hmm. I have this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
When was this released? Do you know what year this was?
Let me pull that up. Actually, I know people were going to ask that, so I have it on Bricklink or Brickset here. I think I can pull the date. It was 2015.
Okay, yeah, it's been a minute.
So this one, it's a weird castle. It actually has a lot of really cool things going on. However, it scales a little off, and it's interesting because it came out at a time where it kind of felt like there was no castle on the horizon. 2015, what was it, 2014 or so? It was, when was the last castle line? I mean...
Right around then.
Okay.
It's been...
No, that's wrong. I'm totally off.
Yeah.
This is not... That's so funny. It's 2015 pieces.
Oh, okay.
2015, because I just scanned the thing. Where's the release date on this thing? I'm looking for the release date. Why can't I find it? I'm on Brickset right now. I figured it would just be sitting here. Well, no, now it says pieces. Huh. This is weird because there's some weird, like, conflicting information about this set. 2019.
Okay, so it's a few years after Castle had expired.
Yeah. So actually, well, yeah. So 15, 16, 17, what, four, almost 5 years, roughly around there. We hadn't seen anything from Castle at all. Right. Like there was just really nothing at all. Right. So when this hit, I mean, this was obviously everybody was like, "Whoa, it's a castle again!" You know, like. So I needed it. I was like, I got to get my hands on this thing. Like, and the designer, and I don't really have designer names on here. I just have the names of the sets. So sorry if you're a designer of one of these, you end up running across the stream. Drop your name in the comments, and we'll give you a bunch of love because we love castles. But
it was by a German Lego fan, Martin Geitzfeld. Builder alias is Raziel Regulus.
Okay, nice. We got Jordan on the research team.
Research.
Yeah. Our executive research correspondent, Jordan Perry. Right on. Yeah. So if you want to pull names and stuff like that, I appreciate that. You can definitely add that to the chat. That definitely helps. yeah, so anyway, it had a lot of interesting things. It has this like very cool drawbridge situation where it kind of cuts off the keep. I mean, there's some fun like kind of historical things. There's a little courtyard behind the main gate there. The angles are fun. It clips on an angle there at the front. And then there's like some caves and different things. And then people actually built expansions. You could buy instructions for the expansions, and it closes out the whole back and everything. And it actually makes it a pretty decent sized castle.
Nice.
Do you remember when this one kind of dropped, or do you remember seeing this at all?
I think I remember seeing it, and I think it didn't have a ton of appeal to me. By 2019, I'd amassed a pretty good collection of just basic gray parts. They're being that they would just reuse existing parts. The kids wearing like a khaki shirt. Right. And it just the minifigures are relatively generic.
Totally.
From a design perspective, obviously it has some really cool elements. Like I think the round tower is a snot design.
Yep.
But just the overall lack of new parts and sort of the small scale, I didn't pounce on it.
I totally understand that. Yeah, there's no new shield prints, no new minifigs. And that's kind of what marks a good castle set or a new thing is the new faction it comes with, or at least a remake of the faction we love. At that time there wasn't really. I'm kind of surprised they even had a helmet and the sword and some of the spears and stuff like that. I mean, they might have pulled those. I'm not even sure where those would have come from. I mean, maybe Ninjago or something, right? So they didn't really have. There was nothing on the books, and even in like the parts, like the Pick-a-Brick, you go through. I mean, we've had it so good in Pick-a-Brick for so long.
Yeah.
Castle fans and even pirate fans wise, I've gotten bags of blue coats and pirate guys, swords, muskets.
Army builders have never had it so easy.
Yeah. So
I kind of hate it a little bit, but
they don't know the
back in my day, we used to have to walk uphill both ways to buy our minifigures.
It was rain on Lego bricks, and it was raining Lego. Yeah. Let's see. We got Crusader said, I did get the Outlaw Forced in. Yeah, we're going to jump into that one for sure. Happy birthday. Bricks and Fix Collectibles. Welcome to the chat. Says happy birthday. Chris Jones, happy birthday. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate that. How do you look up new pieces? You
can sort on the Pick-a-Brick by newest. It doesn't always work super great, but it will pull some of the new stuff up to the top.
Yeah, I had to learn that search engine. You have to if you click on say Lego plates, it'll pull all the Lego plates, and then you have to minimize the search by modified plates and then and deselect other ones and stuff. So the searching is a little
tricky.
Yeah. You can though, if you want to pull, if you're looking for the Crusader torsos and figs especially, what you can do is you can pop the set number in. So if you put the Lion Knights Castle set number and say search by set, it'll pull all available parts in the set inventory, including all the minifig parts. So, and then that's the filter is the set, set number. So you can do that as well. Some random man on the internet says, happy birthday. Glad to hear Pick-a-Brick is included so I can order the pieces I need for the next bit of my castle project. Indeed. Go for it.
It's always what I'm buying for.
Made with Brick says, kind of like the scale of this set and has a lot of cool angles in rooms. Yeah, and that's kind of the appeal of this is really, like Jordan said, you said it was the design elements are pretty nice. There's some real nice nods to authentic castles. You got the kind of the hoarding wooden tower out over the gate, kind of more of a siege defense. Like you said, the snot techniques, all the towers, I think, really are all kind of circular towers. You didn't see that as much until, now we got a lot of stuff going on with some of these Bricklink design sets. But the circular towers never really showed up that much in Lego. So that was kind of a fun thing to see. Spacer says, I noticed that the submissions for Bricklink Design 12 is coming up. And there isn't a palette on Studio for 12 yet. How long do they usually wait for that? Do people just use the previous one and hope? I mean, they usually try to drop that as soon as possible. I did notice that it's 70 days. So, like, that's a long time. So it's going to probably be a little bit because they got to tailor the palette to what's going to be available when these things drop. In 70 days is a long time for them to kind of work out what's going to be available in the future.
Right.
So, yes, if you're going to start, I would use the existing palette and just keep in mind, especially for like printed shields, torsos, and stuff like that, some of that might be phased out by the time they drop the official palette. But if you're just doing structural stuff, I mean, there's a ton of evergreen parts in the most recent palette. So yeah, that's the best you can do. And then you kind of tweak it as you get the new palette. So or you can just wait till they drop the new palette. Do sketches, sketch out your ideas. Josh says, this feels like a Lego set. Chris Jones, it does look a bit like, I don't know what that is. What is that? Elendana Castle? Elendana?
Yeah, it must be a real castle.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, it does have like a Lego set vibe, you know. There were a couple of issues. I mean, you can see how squished these two rooms are in the back on the main hall. There's a bed, I think, and then there's a little like dining area. But I mean, with like kind of a storeroom and things. There was no real access to those areas. I mean, it was kind of like you built it, had fun kind of putting the little things in the rooms and then closing it up a bit.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the fun about it. And I think we're losing that with Bricklink design in general as these people, including, you know, myself, but like as we design more and more like the Lego design, the set designers, we pull further and further back from some of the weird kind of things you might see in like a mock that then becomes a set, which, you know, that could be a good or bad thing depending on what you like.
Right.
But this one still had some of that where it was like, what's this crazy angle? Why can't I even access this room? Like you just build it, close it, and then move on. And it's like, okay.
I know it's in there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Lorem's in the house. Hey, good to see you.
Hey, Lorem.
Sorry. It's a castle on the east coast of Scotland. Okay.
I pulled it up. It is a cool looking castle on an island and on a loch, I suppose, since it's in Scotland.
Right on.
Has to be closed back. Yeah, it has to be 360 viewable. You know, it's.
Yeah. So he's saying, I think Josh is saying this is a comment a lot of people leave. Think it's hurting a lot of new sets nowadays because having to close the back of anything or making it fully 360, like you're saying, can kind of. I mean, you have to. It ups the part count a lot, and it isn't even in Lego's standard like. In most of their stuff, even a lot of these big like builds are open back, you know. Gondor is open back, right? It's like
that's true.
You know? What are we doing here? All right, so Lowenstein Castle. Final thoughts. What do you think, Jordan? Overall,
I think taking in the era when it was made, 6 out of 10.
Nice. I like it. I will say I did see a little blip from the designer that he basically took every castle part he could find and turned this set into a parts pack for castle builders.
Yeah.
Which
this
is cool.
This is before Lego's, you know, pick a brick service was going, I think. So you didn't necessarily
2019. It was right around that. Yeah.
You were gonna buy stuff off of Bricklink otherwise, right?
Right. And this was through Bricklink. So this is kind of the foundational bits and pieces of the Bricklink Design Program. We can also drop our opinions on Bricklink Design Program, Jordan. I don't know what you kind of feel as a whole over of that system in general. I mean, we can definitely drop any kind of opinions you want, hot takes, whatever you want to talk about. I'm happy to do it. So, if you want to get into that, we can as well. So, I know Bricklink Design Program has a lot of opinions around that as well.
Yeah. I mean,
whatever you want to talk.
If you want to get into it now, my hot take is I don't like it.
Yeah, that's funny.
This is not probably a hot take for a lot of people, but
no, yeah, I'm on the fence, you know, and I've participated like 4 or 5 times with it, and I'm kind of on the fence myself with it. So like, we can definitely lean into that a little bit if you want to, expound. Why don't you tell me one thing that you really dislike about it, and then one thing you think is kind of
it's like anything, right? There's two sides to kind of consider. What I like about it, I think, first is it does, I think, it gives Lego a little bit of direct insight from the consumer on stuff that's interesting, right? And you end up getting some stuff that you would definitely not get outside of the consumer program or the designer program, I think. And there are some phenomenal models. There's people who have probably some AFOLs or designers out there who have made a good little chunk of money, able to leverage their building talents into having a set made and, getting their, whatever the pay structure is for that. It's kind of cool. It's like everybody's dream is to make a little bit of money being a Lego designer, right? And
so for the select few, I will just cut in. For the select few, it's a lot bit of money.
Yeah.
Some of these guys have made roughly over $1 million. So
really,
the people who've won multiple times. If you just do basic breakdown of the cost of the set, the percentage they get versus how many sold, there's one or two that have broken $1 million.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, even a winner with a small set is gonna roughly walk away with over 100,000.
That's incredible. Yeah.
So it's life-changing money, and that's why there's a lot of
competitive.
There's a lot of feelings around it because people are
idea.
legitimately making life.
I figured somebody's going to make like 50 grand or something like that, which is still a good chunk of change, but
a big chunk of change. But no, we're talking
not $1 million bucks.
This is more than you'd get if you won the what was it?
Lego Masters.
Lego Masters.
You win 10 times.
You're winning more than the yearly salary of official Lego designers, like
by a lot.
Yes. So they don't talk about exactly how much people make on these things, but the winners, they walk away with a bit of change. Now it might be a little less now because I do think sales are a little less than they were originally because there's so much hype. It was so limited, and now they're kind of expanding it. They're making it more available for people, which I think is good. But I don't know if the sales are as high as they were up to the 40,000 or whatever produced, 50,000 produced. Yeah. But anyway, sorry not to cut you off, but yes, it's a nice chunk of change.
Yeah. So in that way, I mean, it's almost a better program for the design community than it is for the consumer community. Once you get over to the consumer community, there's a lot of FOMO around the limited release, right? It's not like if you don't have the money, you can't save up and wait for it, and buy it later when you can put a couple of acorns away. And the retail market on these is crazy. The only one I ever bought was like the Forestman.
We'll talk about that one next.
Yeah, and I bought like 3 copies, thinking like, well, I've got my spot in line. I'm going to get one for me and one for 2 other buddies who I know want one. Because they're not able to log in right now and get it at the release time.
Right.
And then the sets got to me, and by the time they got to me, the thing was reselling for like $500. And I was like, well, I don't like my friends that much. I'm going to tell you. I sold all 3 of them. I never even opened one.
Nice. Okay, you didn't even open it. Yeah.
And I don't condone scalping, but at some point the opportunity cost compared to me, I either put 3 on the market and make some money, or I keep 3 and cut the tape and open them. At the end of the day, nobody's worse for wear.
You didn't scalp them either, really. I mean, you ended up just by the time, because the production started slow. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, scalping can kind of suck, but what you described wouldn't have been scalping.
Really. People who are going around to every store hoarding. The most desirable CMFs so that they can put them in their Bricklink store. That sucks, but I only ever buy stuff that I want to actually have.
Right. The intention was you're going to get a couple for your buddies. You're going to get one for yourself. Realize these things were way more expensive. So then you just sold them. That's fine.
But they're the cost. And then for me as a consumer, I don't really buy sets. I like to build my own mocks. So as a mock builder, there's nothing in it for me. There's no new parts.
Totally.
I can just go buy those parts off of Bricklink or Pick a Brick. Probably between the two, if you're crafty, you can probably buy all the parts for less than the set costs.
Potentially, especially if you sub in what you already have.
Yeah, big panels and stuff are usually cheap on Bricklink, and then the small parts or rare parts are cheap on Pick a Brick. And so
that's a really good. That's a really good opinion. I actually agree with that part of it quite a bit. It is, you get the design and it's exciting, but you can download the instructions for free. And so it's like, at what point do you just wait for that, and then part the set out? If you really care about the design, that's a pretty easy way to do it. You could probably get it for cheaper. Like you said, all the figs are available. Yeah. The no new parts at all is where this, there's going to be stickers for some like custom factions and stuff like that, but that's not, you can make your own stickers, or that's not a huge deal. Like, I don't think that's something that's going to change maybe somebody's opinion about this. That's a good point. And that's where Lego stands out still, is because Lego has a full production team behind it. Technically they could do it with these two, but when they produce even a creator set or like that new pirate ship, that new pirate ship came with 4 new pirate torsos. Like, that's an appeal there, dude. Like, and eventually those will probably hit even those will hit the Bricklink store, or not the Pick a Brick shop, and you can get multiples. But like, there's a cool appeal there for something new from Lego. You see it in like the Horse Knights castle has all these new horse knights on it. Like, you're not going to get that from the Bricklink Design Program. I think that's a good opinion. The other one I think a lot of people have is like, oh, hey, my wife jumped in here real quick. Catherine Brown says, I love the wooden turret mixed with the stone. Yeah, we just called that out earlier, the hoarding there for the siege defense. And then happy birthday. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good to see you in the chat. But what was the other thing? Oh, I was talking to someone else about the Bricklink Design Program, and they were talking about how it was difficult because they had like their buddies' kids over for some event, and he had the Falcon Snow Castle next to his Lion Knight's castle, and the kids were like, hey Dad, can I get, like, they couldn't, you can't have it. Like, there's nowhere to get it, and if you get it on the aftermarket, it's $700. Like, that's, the kids aren't getting that. So it's already expensive to buy the $400 Lion Knight castle, but that is kind of attainable, for like a big Christmas, something maybe. But like, you can't get the bad guy castle. So it's like you're already like half of the Lego castle world is locked behind a exclusive adults only kind of paywall program. And that, I think, is also a lame kind of aspect of this. Yeah. So,
and I've really, like, I don't want to say like been surprised. I don't want to be demeaning to people. I'm surprised though sometimes when I go on other mock builders pages that I follow, and they have cool little, it'll be a little message board for your town or whatever. Yeah. And people will be like, can you post the instructions for this? And I'm like, well, you can just look at it and you can see how to build it. But for a lot of people who don't build Lego mocks and are just in it for kind of the building experience, following the instructions, they're not going to have the wherewithal, anybody can do it if they really put their mind to it, but people don't know to go online, download the instructions, go to Bricklink, part it out. Like, so there's an accessibility thing that isn't really available for the average dad who just wants to buy it for their kid. Right.
Well, yeah, and we don't know what it's like to be an adult that's not interested in Lego or knows nothing about it. We just don't know what that's like. Like, so like if you're a parent and you didn't grow up like we did, just saturated in Lego, that's a fair point. You get these people. I worked at the Lego store for a year, and the majority of people that came in didn't know anything about Lego. They're like, my kid wanted this thing. They don't know the names of the sets. They don't know the figs. They don't know anything, and that's not a dig at all. These are people who are doing their lives, and they have kids that are interested in a hobby, and they're trying to do their best to get them the thing they want.
Right.
So that's totally a fair point. Yeah, most kids, like, unless you're in it like we are, and we know we can download the instructions, or we know the names of 20 different Lego websites with resources, the back of the box builds, all of these like PDF people, what's it called? Where you can sell PDFs, brick set. No, What's the big one where everyone sells their Lego instructions?
Rebreakable.
You've got Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, where the accessibility is limited to parents whose kids see something and they're like, I want that or whatever, and you just can't even buy it because a lot of people are like, where do I buy this thing?
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't buy it. That's the fun part. It's on eBay for $1,200. Right. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and part it out. Yeah, that's a good point. We need to figure out how to game it because, well, yeah. So that's the system. You want to game the system here. We got Maxu says, it makes me think of a Blue Bricks castle, but smaller. Yeah, Blue Bricks, the big German alternative brick company, does a lot of castles. Very, very similar to this. They may have even, I almost want to say they might have been part of the group that built the expansion to this. Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, like the original designer here is a German builder. So
yeah. So he might have been.
If the Germans know how to do anything, it's engineering and castles. I mean, that's like
40th. Oh, come on, man. No, not quite. We hit 38 today. So
still got a couple to go.
Got a couple before it's over. All right. Sorry, Jordan.
I'm sitting on 40 as we speak.
Yeah. All right. Some random guy from the internet. My only complaint about the program is that I think it's keeping us from getting a new castle theme. Castle sets that come out of the program are always fantastic, but always pricey. That's, I don't know if it's keeping us from getting a new full castle line with a range of prices and sets. I just don't know if Lego cares about doing that again. I think they think that Castle is now for people our age, and they're going to do a flagship set every year or so, and you drop $200 to $400 on it, and the kids don't want it. That's how it feels like.
Market research says that kids don't like castles anymore,
which is kind of crazy because like all of my kids like them, but they're also my kids, so I don't know. They probably have some bias and influence from me. Josh has a lot of opinions. I'm going to drop a couple of these. Do you want to read a couple of these while I prep up the next slides?
Yeah.
Josh is jumping in with some stuff. So
it says BDP is one of his favorites. I feel like they pick the safe choices. Same themes each time, like City and Castle. I enjoy Castle, but it feels like we get a big gray each time.
Yeah, well, and that's a problem with castles in general is they're kind of just all big grays.
And then it's kind of spreading out the wealth on the $1 million earners here. I think they need to limit some of the designs, like even if one design per designer per size, that's a lot of criteria. So instead of like 4 large ones by the same guy, it would be nice, but
so they did do that a little bit. So they did actually. I mean, they kind of care. They kind of don't. And they kind of do. There's also a lot of like. Yes. Yeah. So that was a big, you can put it, if you participate, you can put in your feedback. And so one of the things that I was saying is you got to figure this out, guys. You're getting some of these guys jumping in here and they're just kind of dominating. And it could be that their designs are the best. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes it's because they got a better following. Sometimes they have more like pull with the people. Like, we don't know. So like, but if you get this guy, anyone, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I know that there's multiple winners over the course of this thing now that have won 4 times or more. And so it's like, how do we fix this? So I believe they've limited it to, I think it's 1 win, potentially 1 win per year now.
Oh,
yeah. It's either 1 win per year or 1 win every other, right? So like if you win one, you're out the next one. You can't even participate in the next round, and then you can go for the next one. I can't remember how they limited it. It's either that way or the other way, but they finally did implement a limitation to some of the top winners, so that it's not always just the same people over and over again. So,
well, and that makes sense. You don't want to discourage the community from participating if it just becomes, small group of people that are winning all the time.
And it's still kind of
like, if it's that profitable, you could make a whole company that's just based on like under, the Brickstop theme name, entry name, and you could have 10 designers working for you and just tell them they're working off commission. And if you make $1 million, you pay your designers pretty good. Then you can buy You can buy influencer poll. Like you can
You
have
can
duck brick.
you can
It's
do that.
definitely for sale.
You can also take, say, 50 grand and throw it at Google advertising.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the problem. That's where people actually have been murmuring that there could be, potential for corruption or at least unfair play.
Right.
When you win a couple of times, you've got that fat stack of cash that all the other designers don't have.
Yeah.
There's no way to know if that happened or not. Right.
Yeah.
There's just like, who knows, and so kind of limiting it on what Lego and Bricklink can do is limit it on their end. Right. So that even if that stuff is happening, it can only happen to a point.
Right.
And then, so winning once a year would just kind of stop that from happening over and over again. Right. So stuff like that. So they're still working it's a new program. They're still working out kinks. So I get that. But what we got here, I think it's why they are limiting it to 2 per household. Yeah, for the scalpers. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, we spoke to the scalping a little bit. Scalping is a problem with these as well, so they're trying to do their best to limit the scalping, but you can also make multiple email accounts or get your friends to buy them, and then if you're a determined scalper, you'll figure out a way to do it.
Another way around, yeah.
Let's read one more comment, then we'll actually get into more of the sets. I don't want to take too much more time here. I generally find that the Bricklink Design Program castles use too many parts to detail the walls, so the interiors aren't great, and the sets are crazy big and expensive overall. They just don't end up feeling like a Lego set. Yeah, well, I think, we talked about that a little bit. Like this one it feels like a set size-wise and scale, but some of the techniques are completely out there. And that was kind of part of the fun of it, was kind of that. But on the flip side, people are saying like the people doing the designs are getting kind of, at least this is kind of my feeling, that they're honing in on how Lego designers design things, and they're kind of getting them closer and closer to actual Lego
aesthetic.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, on that note, actually, that's a good point. There's a couple of these that really do speak exactly to what Crusader's saying. So, Castle in the Forest is the one I think you got 3 of. Yeah.
Yep.
I got one of these as well. So these are the only 2 I have. Is this one and this one, and then things got too expensive and too crazy, and I walked. I can't do it, bro. Like you said, and you can get all the parts on Pick-a-Brick. So
except for the sticker sheet for the shields.
That's true. So I have this little sticker for the Black Falcon flag, which is technically up to date the only official Black Falcon flag since forever. So that's the one thing I am kind of. It's fun. It's a sticker, but it's still kind of fun to have.
It's funny. This predated the Forestman then being released. So if you were jazzed, if you bought this because you were like really jazzed about getting some Forestman shields, boy, did you overpay for those
with the little stickers.
And you also got like the AliExpress Forestman themselves. It's just a bunch of janky town pirate torsos.
Peasant in town guys, yeah. You got this green torso was always kind of weird. I guess it was a pirate torso. Yeah, originally, and the guy on the raft is a pirate. The Falcons came out for the blacksmith set, so you have these Falcon shields and stuff. But those guys, that's a Ninjago or one of the like Chinese New Year sets. You got the little blacksmith overall guy, and then 2 pirate torsos.
Yeah,
I always was peeved they used the pirate torso on the gal at the blacksmith shop too.
Yeah,
that always kind of was like, what?
Yeah,
come on, do a new print. It's a new set. Like you pulled that one off. What was it? The Barracuda one.
I can't remember. There's too many.
Yeah, she came off of Barracuda, the Barracuda Bay or Pirates of Barracuda Bay. Anyway, this is a cool set though. It's an homage to 3 of the Forestman sets. You can pull it apart. You can kind of see that in this image. I didn't actually include the image that has it, but you get kind of the Forestman's River Fortress, the main build there, and then you got like I can't remember the other 2, Forestman's Outpost maybe, and then the other one,
Forestman's Hideout or something like that.
Yeah, the Hideout is the rock one.
It's the one with the angled wall and it opens up to get the
gate. Yeah, which it
That's
does
the one
have
on the right side of that picture.
And then the is it the Outpost? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah, with a little blue roof. So it kind of was fun because you could kind of pop them apart and stand them next to each other, and you sort of had like the Forestman.
Yeah, that is cool.
Builds sort of, but of course, like the side of it would be open here, so
Right.
It wasn't quite perfect. But yeah, this one was fun. I built this one, so I did build mine. I opened it up and put it together, and it was a fun build. A lot of details. I think it did a pretty good job. Creating a this one. I mean, this is a far cry from this one too. Like,
oh yeah,
this
size, detail, minifigs.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
the whole thing. You can tell it's really evolving the right direction. I would say if even the landscaping around it and stuff like that. The tree. There's like cool little hollow areas where you can like open the trees up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, a lot of nice little details, trapdoors, the whole thing. It's a fun set. Let's see, what do we got here? Trickspick's been busy with the new baby. Wonder when we'll hear back from him. Another 5 years. Yeah, because he was out for 5 years. Hopefully not. I hope that he is able to jump back into it. But yeah, so this is a fun one. This was kind of and again, this was before I think they were just starting to call it maybe a Bricklink Design Program, or they called it the.
Yeah, it was. It was in a branded box.
Okay. So it went from kind of a full designer program or something like that to the Bricklink Design Program. So this is really where it starts to take off.
I have to point out something.
Yeah.
To mention the scale. So this one says it's 1,957 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
How many more pieces would you say you think it is than the Lowenstein Castle? Because it's not. It's fewer pieces than Lowenstein Castle. And it looks huge comparatively.
Yeah, what is going on there? That's an interesting. I mean, I guess there's a lot of brick built along for this terrain, the big cliff it's on.
Yeah, if you think about putting a minifigure on the back cutaway section, I suppose the scale of it is a little bigger than it looks from the front image.
Yeah, ish. I mean, 1, 2,
it's like
3,
a perspective
4.
thing. It just looks like that tower is as tall as the Forestman one, and the Forestman one has a lot more heft to it. But that's
this one I would have if I had to just look at these, I would say this had more pieces.
I would say that had double the amount of parts.
Yeah, at least like 500 more pieces easily. I think this is a very dense build. There's a lot going on underneath these like rocks and stuff. There's a lot of beams, cross beams holding things together.
I think it's got to weigh 50 pounds.
It's a heavy build. It is. And like the amount of bricks on these circular towers is actually
that's true. A lot of little slopes and stuff. But
it is interesting. Isn't that interesting? It's always fun to look at the 90s set too, and you got like the Royal Knights Castle. It's like 910 pieces or something, and then you look at like a gift we purchase. It's like 500 parts. You're like, wait, what?
But this is a good one. I mean, like again, I don't think the Lego Pick-a-Brick was really off and rolling. It's only really been in its current form for a couple of years. So good parts pack here for your foliage, and you get like those cool pentagonal shields in gray. This is like a pretty good, I would say this is a step up in parts pack value compared to the Lowenstein one.
Just as far as variety, you're a lot of nice foliage. You're getting some animals and things too in there. A little horse. I guess you get a horse in the first one, but that's a good point. And there's a lot of interior. I'm gonna say the interior, the accessibility, just the whole overall design is just so much cleaner. It's more, it's just more accessible. There were a couple of things in here still that were a little janky. That kind of felt like, again, it wasn't quite polished like a Lego set would be. Yeah. Which was kind of fun. See, I like that part. I think. I also like the angles of how this closes. Do you see how that battlement along the top? See that angle?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's beveled. I wouldn't have guessed that from the front, but I see that now. Yeah, cool.
Isn't that kind of fun? So there's some fun little things like that. I think it was that part of it actually. That battlement on top of that blue roof just falls off because it's just floating up there. It's almost it's like 5 bricks high with no just sitting on there.
No support.
So, one of my favorite things, and we'll move on, is the stairs. Do you see the stairs that go down? So on the open side, there's a little window lattice, and then the steps go down into that room with the swords and the barrel.
Oh,
So when
okay.
it's closed, those steps go in, and then the steps continue out of that room down to the gate.
Oh, that's cool.
But when it's open, it's just this really cool little like hallway with stairs. I don't know.
That's
I
fun.
got the stair.
Interior stairs are always fun.
Yeah, I'm a big stair guy, I guess. Anyway, let's see. It was Camouflage Outpost, and then the Hideout is okay. So the Hideout is the Treehouse one, and the Camouflage Outpost. That's right. I was trying to remember it because it was kind of a unique name for that. So let's see. Let's jump into this one now. So this is where it really took off. This one was everybody was losing their mind over this one.
This is a good one.
It's a nice profile. It's very interesting. But if you want to use the term big gray, like, this is a big gray. Like,
it's a winter castle, right? You don't have any green of even any foliage.
Mm-hmm. And I think without that yellow emblem on the front, now I don't know. I don't love this homage to Black Falcon, whatever the collage thing on the front of the gate. I get it. And it does add color to this whole thing, especially the banner on the side, and then this, like, that draws the eye, which is needed. I think really it's very needed. Like, whether you like it or not is one thing, but like I think that is really helpful. The Tudor on the top is fine. It definitely looks like it was kind of a just put on top though. Like I don't know. Like, and there's just like just a bunch of open studs along it. Yeah. But this is where I think the parts limitation came into play pretty heavily.
It's 5 parts shy of the 4,000 part limit, so this is double the size of the Forestman one. Which
is actually pretty impressive that it's under 4,000 pieces considering the size. I mean, if you just look at the front image here, you've got multiple levels of battlements. Big towers, areas of doors opening into other places. Like, I mean, this thing is huge. Look at the minifigs next to that main tower.
This one is like, this is a nice mock castle. Like castle. The architectural details around the bay window up at the top, and even like the cool little pattern on the roof line. I don't know if you've ever zoomed in on that little, I don't know what it is, but
I have
the night thing in the front. It's
cool.
This
one. Yeah.
It uses like handcuffs and stuff like that for some different detailing. You've got arrow loops and stuff of multiple different types.
These arrow loops, I will give the designer credit on these. They're better than the ones in Lion Knight's Castle.
They're really good.
The Lion Knight's Castle arrow loops are, I'm going to be honest, they're trash.
Yeah. These have, I think they use the ingots to make like a cool beveled.
Yeah, I see that on the front ones here. Yeah,
not the big side one that's on the right side of the castle, but the ones that are in the front are really cool. It's a classy build all the way around. This is something that, like, a lot of people would struggle to build something of this quality. Even like the beveled wall that's on the front on the right side. That's actually like a wall that's angled, which is, authentic to a lot of castles.
Right.
And it's a detail that you don't see very often, even in like high-end mocks.
Is that where the little drawbridge comes out of?
It's actually on the right side of the castle where that kind of diagonal boulder is.
It's angled up I see that now. Yeah. That's actually a good point.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of great techniques and finishes and details, the snow detailing and stuff. And, shout out to Lands of Classic Castle, later Lands of Roia, which was a online kind of RPG. This would fit right in with the Garheim Northern faction. It's a beautiful snow castle.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there for sure. I think this is where Crusader might have a little bit of a comment about the interior being a little sparse, but he put as much design as possible, I think, on the exterior, because that's what's going to be showing mostly. And this thing does close as well, which is kind of cool, and makes its own. It kind of, like the Lion Knight's Castle, kind of changes the profile completely, which is pretty nice. I think it closes up there, so you do get a 360 if you want, I believe. But man, I mean, overall, like at first glance, I can see, you know, how people might be like, oh yeah, it's just a lot of gray bricks. But if you point out all of the things you did, and even those little bar windows, right? Like
Yeah.
under the Tudor area, like
Mhm.
you got to give them credit for that. The portcullis made out of different parts down below. I mean,
This
the more
is
I
like
look
a
at it,
9.5 out of 10 for me.
the more I look at it, the more I'm kind of leaning into thinking this is a really good.
Build your own
castle.
pine tree and put a little snow on it if you want
Yeah.
to green it up a little bit. But
Totally. Well, and
Yeah.
here's the other thing: like all of these things are like, this is a good, maybe not a starting point because this would be a huge starting point, but this is a nice thing you can start with if you wanted to then start adding land around it, continuing the river off of it, start building up a forest with some snow on it around the thing, like that's, if you really want to get into that. Again, like you and I were mock builders, so like we maybe wouldn't probably add this necessarily to our own stuff because we build our own stuff. And so it's like, we wouldn't necessarily do a bunch of sets in our designs and our landscapes. But if you didn't do that, that would be.
If you plugged it in, it would fit. Like it's that good.
Yeah. Totally. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We got a whole bunch of comments. I can't get to all of these. I will drop a couple more in here though. We got, I wonder how easy it is to carry around. This one might not be too bad.
Portability, not always a.
Yeah, this is Sleepless. Yeah, Sleepless Night. And he's won like 4 times, I believe. He is one of the top winners of this, which to his credit, like we're going to look at another one of his castles, and then he did the siege camp and I think one other thing.
Okay.
So like these are like win-worthy sets. Like it's not like you put in the work, right? So we've got Chris Jones, pretty sturdy when it's closed up. Okay, because you have most of these castles, so you can kind of speak to that. Happy birthday. Who is this? Arno
Rotor Rink.
Cool. Sometimes sometimes when there's a username, and it's all in one
I was trying to figure out where the breaks were, but
because if there's a break, sometimes I miss it and I try to sound it out.
I think it's Arno Rotary
with my homeschool phonics. I'm like trying to sound it out. So sometimes I say it all wrong and I feel bad, but it's a great build for sure, says Laura. And then we say in our region, the Netherlands. Well, that's why we apologize for completely butchering your username. The Line Knights parts are already sold out on Pick-a-Brick. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, they're probably already going to be sold out. All our fans
they're
are
still in stock. They're in stock as of right now.
So okay, so
they're in my bag waiting for midnight so I can get my gift for purchase.
Perfect. There's enough texture to balance the gray.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Really, when it comes down to it, and we'll move on to the next one. I know we want to keep moving, but there is a nice amount of dark tan in there actually as well. That kind of cuts it up a little bit. And then like the what do you call those things? Almost like the hoardings or the murder holes or whatever along the front here, where you can drop stones and tar. Boiling oil, right? So like it creates a shadow, even if it's not a different color brick, it creates these shadows in all of these areas. I
think people overdo it with texture and color mixed together, and I think if you're going to have something that's relatively monochrome, some tasteful texturing in there helps break it up. You don't want it to be so busy that your eye can't focus on the individual features, and I think this is like right on the line of just enough texture. It's very similar to how I build my own walls. I think I texture mine up a little bit more than this. But like you can see each individual architectural feature. It doesn't get lost in the texture.
Well, and I think there's, to the kind of speaking to texturing, to your point a little more is, I think people underestimate the effectiveness of the same color texture over the same color. So for instance, like a gray wall with gray brick pattern, the same color. A lot of times in my brain, I'm trying to do like, I'm going to do a gray tower with dark gray brick texture, right? Which is great and it looks good. But like you forget, like, you can also do the same with the same color. Light gray on light gray actually
Looks
can
fine.
kind of work really well and create its own look. So I always forget that. Like, I'm trying to build this big, like, blue coats fort, and I'm doing white walls with light gray accent textures, like, scattered throughout of it.
Yeah.
And, like, I might be overdoing it a little bit on the texture, so we'll see what happens.
It's easy to do. You always do a good job of editing. I think your stuff always looks good.
Well, we'll see. I'm excited. We'll see if it even shows up. At this point, like, I've got a third of the fort done, and we got a month and a half, or almost 2 months, I guess. So we'll see. Zapper says, I didn't get back into Lego until the end of 2024. Was lucky enough to get the Mountain Fortress on extra stock resale.
That's right. Yeah, this one sold out, and they re-released it with even more copies, I think. Yeah. Well, welcome back to the Castle Lego hobby.
Welcome back, for sure. Yeah, it's great to have you here. Lorb says, dude, I cannot order any more cypress trees on AliExpress. They put limits on quantities to just one per order. That's so funny, because it's like, if anything's fake Lego or a knockoff, it's the AliExpress stuff.
For sure.
And even they are putting limits on the cypress remakes. Sorry, man. That sucks.
See, like, now I got to go to conventions, and every time I see a cypress tree, instead of being like, oh, cool, they have a cypress tree, I'm going to have to be like, that's probably from AliExpress.
I have one. My buddy Paul, he bought me one. He found two on, like, Macari that were actually Lego.
Nice.
And he bought for pretty cheap considering, and he's like, here, you can have one. I was like, okay. I don't really have them. Like, they're not easy to get. So yeah, that's another market that Lego is really, like, seemingly dropping the ball on. I know they do all their research, and they got millions of dollars in all of their people doing it, but it's like a retro, like, pick-a-brick line seems like it would always be sold out, and they'd make millions of dollars on it, you know, because AliExpress is taking all that money from them now, right? So it's like, you got to think about that. You know, if they're already putting limits on these knockoffs because people want them so much that they're selling out all the time, that's got to be its own market research in a way, right?
So. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Slanted gray wall in the front is pretty unique. I don't see many castles, at least in Bricklink Design Program, that do angled walls like that. That's a good point, Jordan. You were pointing that out earlier. I like the gray wall with the light gray masonry bricks, but add dark gray tiles in some places too. Yeah, and that's when it really gets into different, like, mock techniques and things like that. So we have Forest Stronghold. I added this one as a castle because it kind of is a castle.
Yeah.
This was interesting.
Yeah. It's like almost a little too beefy for the Forestman in my mind. It's like, this is just like the concept of having, like, two keeps kind of connected by a little bridge in the middle, like, logistically seems a little odd. But it does kind of look like it's like, let's make a big beefy castle, and then we'll pop some trees on it, and we'll say it's the Forestman's.
Sure. Yeah. But Andrew and I, you remember the show we did. I think you were a guest on that a couple of times. We actually, I don't think you were on this one.
No.
But we did talk about that, and it was the same critique, really, is what you're saying. It kind of feels like, two castles.
Zip line.
True, you got to have the zip line. What are we doing? If you don't have a zip line, is it even Lego? I think we kind of came to the conclusion, and I think we've also, maybe it's like generally agreed, that the Forestman's River Crossing and the Forestman's River Fortress were both owned by other factions previously.
Right.
Like, they're not, it's a ruined outpost that's been.
Yeah, I would want to see a little bit more ruin.
Sure. Yeah, this one is pretty.
Give me a crumbling wall or something somewhere.
Yeah, this is not ruined at all.
Just
like, so the original forest, or the original Forestman's River Crossing does look like a ruined castle. With, like, a little rope bridge and stuff. The forest, the Forestman's River Fortress is pretty complete. it's got those trees built onto the sides, I guess. But other than that, it does kind of look like an overgrown keep, though.
Yeah, I think it's weird. Like on the back side, it's open on two sides, and then there's like ladders just clipped to the exterior of it. Like, is it a cutaway or is it actually part of the accessibility of this castle?
Sure. Yeah, because
a
there's
lot of
ladder.
ladders don't go to the ground, so we just have like torches. Like, God forbid, that first step on the ladder, you're gonna get hot feet. The fire burning below your. I don't understand.
Well, it also does, and I'm not trying to like critique too hard on the person who built this, because it is overall it's a cool set. But like, that is a good point. There's also two ladders kind of in the same area, just kind of clipped to the side. It's like, do you need both of these? I guess one kind of goes into the tower and one kind of goes.
One seems like it goes to something. The other one just dead ends. It doesn't even go into the room. It's like,
well, they're both over torches too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things here that are kind of interesting. That piece of foliage, a little one, just stuck to the side there with no flower or continuing. Like, it doesn't. It's just kind of growing on the side of the wall there. It's kind of funny. Some of the trees are kind of.
The front stairs curving is cool.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
I do like that. I do kind of like the sort of call out to the blacksmith shop with the dark blue and the Tudor. Kind of brings that into it a little bit.
Yeah,
the trees are fun, although some of them are growing out of actual stone battlements up top.
Right.
So there's a little bit of funky business going on. Overall, I think it's pretty fun. A lot of decently what do you call it? Detailed rooms. I think this one did do a pretty good job on the interior. Although
another one's kind of weird. It has like round dark gray tiles for texturing on it. They're just like kind of look like little gray warts.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, I could see that being useful. I've actually used some myself on some things, but it's been for I'm not going to pull that out, but it would be in conjunction with like the more oval ones, like next to them, and then maybe even the large 2x2s next to it, so it creates these like consistent patterns with multiple different sizes of the same.
These are just kind of all pock marks.
Yeah, they're pocked next to like other colored brick details. So that's kind of an interesting.
Yeah, I give this one like a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be probably floating around that myself. It's not really my favorite, and it's not a no hate to the designer at all.
Sure.
Again, we're looking at some castles in general. We're mock builders. We're gonna be doing that, but overall, I think it's a nice, look. It has some fun things going for it. The bridge. I mean, I get the road going through the bridge thing. Maybe water, maybe a river going through there would make a little more sense, or that bridge being an actual gatehouse with a portcullis, and then you have a actual castle. That you could. It's fortifying a road, right, as opposed to just a bridge with a road that goes under it. I don't know.
And I don't have this one, so I can't speak to the build experience. I feel like you'd build a couple of cubes and then like attach a bridge between the two of them. I don't feel like this feels more, as much as there's more greenery, this one feels big gray castle more to me than the Winter Fortress does. Because that one I think just has a lot more architecture going on. This one's just very square and cubey.
Yeah, no, oh, you're comparing it to what? Sorry, I was reading.
The Winter Fortress one that we just looked at.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think this one actually, even though there's green in it, I think it feels more like big gray castle than this one does for some reason. Like, this one looks cold. It's obviously a big gray castle, but there's a lot of cool architectural details, whereas this one has some tree stuff slapped onto it, but overall it just looks like a couple of big square columns.
I get that critique. Yeah, there's a couple of like decent little window designs on this. I like recessed windows a lot, and I think it was wise to cut this up with those Tudor elements and the blue roofs. I think that's saving the build, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a heavy reliance on the Lego textured bricks, the official bricks, to create the texture, whereas this one, uses them sparingly,
mixed
in with other design elements.
Yep.
So I get what you're saying for sure. Boufman Bricks says, I am behind on the live, but I love the Bricklink design pros and cons talk. I agree. As a mock builder, I don't see the value of these box sets. Haven't pulled the trigger on any. I do love seeing each series, though. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun community participation kind of thing as well. So, you can kind of get behind stuff. And yeah, you are really, in a way, you're just buying you're kind of just buying an instruction book. Yeah, let's see. We got, I don't think it's about money with Lego Group anymore. There's a lot of weird things that come out of the CMO's mouth. Oh, all right. Yeah. Lorem's been digging into some of that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they have some interesting things going on there. Always look at the instructions for the Bricklink Design Program sets. That interests me. Makes you realize what an art the official instructions are, and even they get it wrong sometimes. Making instructions is hard. Says Andy. Yeah. I know.
Hey, Andy, what's up?
Yeah. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Making instructions is hard, and it's funny that they have a team behind these ones and they still get a lot of stuff kind of a little wrong sometimes. So, all right, moving on to the other one by Sleepless Night. This is the Adventures in Transylvania. This one was part of the series that I was working with and totally stomped me. And there's obvious reasons why. Yeah, man. What do you think about this one? This one, you don't see a dark red, blue castle looking as good as this one does.
Yeah, this one's kind of funny because it's kind of like a haunted manor. It has some crenellations and stuff on it, but I don't know. Like the stairs kind of go up to a front door more than they go to, like a gatehouse.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I included it as a castle, I guess. It is more of a mansion.
Yeah. The black is a really hard color to work in. I think whatever the lighting and angle they've got this thing at to pick up on the sheen of the brick and contrast it with the architectural elements is smart, because I bet you, like in certain lighting conditions, a lot of this stuff just looks really flat and it's hard to make out.
Okay.
But like build technique wise, amazing techniques. We've got like hot dogs upside down, I think, maybe.
Yeah, along there. I think so.
Maybe those are arch pieces.
I thought there was some.
But they're like snot tile work there underneath the windows.
You got upside down bats out here.
Yeah, upside down bats, like the Gothic feel of everything being kind of like pointy. It does a good usage of the new like spear tip element, and it's just very like appropriately ornate, which is really nice. I think the dark red was a good idea.
It's also surprising how well that tiny white tower looks.
I was just looking at that too. It's really pretty. Yeah,
so
that's really cool.
He clearly has a very good eye for design elements and like breaking up monochrome areas with a very stark secondary color. That white, it breaks that entire red line across the whole front of this thing up, and it looks really well. It does a really good job.
Yeah. And you cool autumn color foliage. It reads like a spooky haunted house really nicely,
And that's what it is. Ultimately,
I could see like doing some third-party lighting and putting some illumination in some of the lamps out front,
for sure,
and maybe like light up the jack-o'-lantern, and you'd be set for a pretty cool Halloween display. I think it's got a brick built gargoyle up on the top too.
I saw that.
It uses binoculars as the head,
right?
A couple of goat horns jammed into there. So like, very cool.
Well, and you and I both know how hard roofing is on anything, and
multiple beveled roofs on this thing.
That's not easy.
Like the little round tower, you almost have to set the geometry of that to the roof line.
Yeah.
like in order to make sure you can get a roof that closes, because you only have slopes of sloped plates,
Right.
certain sizes to make that close up nicely. But
Yeah.
this is like a 9 out of 10 for me. This is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't really argue with that. And then you got the interior, which is actually pretty clean. There's like the coffin in the basement. There's like this little thing pops out of the side of the wall here with that little dial, the little wood dial. What do you call that? Crank, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's another coffin with skeleton or something in there. So like there's some pretty cool like movement and features worked into this as well.
Yeah.
Which just, I mean, you could just sit this here and look at that, but he also put in actual play features,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. So
Did you get a cool, like the suit of armor with another custom sticker, I think, for the bat sticker.
Same with the banner. It matches the banner out front.
Yeah.
So, you are getting a couple of unique little stickers.
Right.
I think it came with a small sheet of stickers.
Yeah.
So
it comes with a ton of minifigures, I think.
It comes with a handful.
There's like a ghost, the vampire, the skeleton guy.
Yeah.
Venture with like a lime green hard hat, probably because that's the only one that that Venture's hat. I think I've got it up on Bricklink. I don't know if this is the final, but it says 14 minifigures.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you count the skeletons and the suit of armor, I mean, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I mean, 9. I can see 9 or 10 from here, so there might be a couple of more hiding somewhere. Well, the ones inside aren't the same as the ones outside either. So yeah, that's probably about 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the parts allow it for that for sure.
Yeah. And they're all generic, like city people for the most part.
Mostly, yeah.
A few of them that are tassely, but that's just kind of more of the ongoing gripe with the BDP series in general.
You just got to use what's there, yeah. I think, Laura, you're talking about this one here was done by Taylor Anderson. Nice, quiet dude. Won Bricklink twice. Gave me some insider info of what it's like. Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. Yeah. Shout out to Taylor, man. I mean, it did a good job overall. You won the series. It's a cool set. And Chris Jones said, the two halves are not connected until the very last step. Oh, of this one? No, probably the other one. I'm behind on the comments. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm assuming that last step is clipping the bridge or whatever to the two pieces. So you can't probably move that around without Crusader says, I like yours better, though. I mean, when I saw this drop, I'm like, okay, I'm out. There was no way.
Well, okay.
Lorem says this was a very interesting build. First time Bricklink purchase for me. Figures aren't great though. Yeah, I mean you could populate this with Fright Nights though, and you could have a fun time.
Yeah.
And he says, Andy says, once fan designers become multiple winners and earn hundreds of thousands, it slightly spoils the community aspect for me. Let everyone get their slice of the pie and enjoy a moment in the spotlight. I mean, yeah, we talked about that earlier in the chat, and they've started to limit that now. So, it's got growing pains, right? It's a new program. They're trying to work it all out. There's going to be this fun kind of Wild West element to it until 2 or 3 years from now, and then it's going to be so standardized and boring, nobody cares about it. So,
right.
There's always that. But John Doe says. The sets are comparable in price per piece to official Lego sets, perhaps, and cheaper than Pick-a-Brick. Even buying parts from sites like Bricklink or eBay is worse because vendors lack pieces and shipping. Maybe. I mean,
it's probably close. Yeah. I think again, I've got a big enough collection of gray parts that I probably only have to buy half of what's in the set to finish it. So if you have your own collection of parts, you're not getting any new parts.
Yeah, I guess that's where it comes in for me.
Just buy what you don't have and build it.
Yeah, and I think that's where it would fall for me. I could probably almost any one of these, I could probably drag 30 to 40% of it out of my own collection and then sub in. So
something like this with a lot of like niche black parts, I might have to buy a few more, right?
Right. Yeah. A lot of these little detail bits and pieces, or like I'll have 4 of the 12 I need. Or something, right.
Yeah. A lot of little filigree type elements on this one that I wouldn't necessarily have enough of.
No worries, man. Yeah. We kind of did some not really hot takes, but some takes and we talked about some earnings and things with the Bricklink design earlier, and we kind of went over that. But no worries, man. We can always kind of reiterate. So you're welcome to rewatch that if you want to do that. All right, so this was Adventures in Transylvania. I think it speaks for itself. I didn't hear much hate from it from anyone about this one. I mean, what are you gonna hate on? Like it stands alone. Like
the amount of black, I think, is the only thing you could possibly bag on. Like looking at the back angle where it's straight on and you don't get the nice benefit of the shine off the bricks.
Yeah,
you can tell it's a little flat and dark in there.
Sure.
But that's about it.
Yeah. I guess if you had to nitpick, that could be a nitpick. I also like that this one also closes, and you get that rooftop area that hinges. And then I like when it's open. Do you see in the center, there's like a little cave you kind of can look through, which is kind of cool. It's like when it's open, it's got this cool little
under the
area.
stairs.
Yeah. Isn't that? No, in the middle, in between the.
Oh yeah, I see it there. Yeah, cool.
Stairs is cool as well.
That is cool. I like that.
Yeah, isn't that fun? So, all right, let's jump into this. We got pretty much this one, and then one more, and then I'll throw on the River Knights Tower just for nostalgia's sake, for my own reasons. Space Renee, what is it? It'll be game over when the general public catches on Pop Culture Designer Program.
Yeah.
Right.
It's ideas.
That's what I will say about this is that is one of the things I do like about this is they don't allow any licensed stuff. So it does have to be original designs. You can kind of obviously, as we're looking at the Outlaw Forest Den, you can pull from existing Lego factions like Wolfpack. But you can't do like the tower from like Grayskull Castle or something, right? Like you can't do something from an IP. Yeah. And I always said this, I think in my opinion, they should just that should be the ideas as well. How is it a Lego ideas set if it's not your idea? Like you copied someone else's thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like half the Lego idea sets are licensed stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's just the first one that gets the one that people like the most about the X-Files or Gravity Falls or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Friends. Late seems to me like
Seinfeld, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Like they're just Ghostbusters, But I mean, it's a money-making machine, so that's what they're here for.
I know, but it's like I guess this. That's a whole nother conversation, really. But like I've always kind of felt like the Lego ideas should kind of be like new ideas, not something based on something that's already been done. But I'm also not a huge IP dude. I kind of hate on all of that stuff a lot. So, it is what it is. I get like Lego wouldn't be where it is without that, right? Like that's where they're making money. But all right. So this is what do you think about this one? How do you feel about this?
So this one you get a little, this one is the only way other than the collectible minifigures to get the Timberwolves, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get the collectible minifigure and you wanted to get some wolves, this one starts to benefit from the fact that Lego has some more options in the actual castle, lineup to choose from in terms of minifigures, so that you're not populating this castle with a bunch of town guys, like wearing armor. That's like I used to do that when I was a kid. Like let's use the armor to cover up this policeman uniform. I could play 10 pieces a night. So minifigure wise, this is the best out of any of the ones we've looked at so far.
But again,
wise, it's a little bit too messy, I think.
Okay.
For me, like I think I know it's ramshackle and it's Outlaws, it's Wolfpack. It's just a little bit too cluttery. My eye has a hard time picking out the architectural elements like we talked about earlier.
Hmm.
So I think I would clean this up like 15%.
Sure.
And it would score a little better. Otherwise, it looks really nice. I like the custom banners and everything.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. The interior is a little sparse as well, but that's one of those things. People critique the interior of these things, saying there's nothing in them, but I always call back to the original Lego castle sets. There's nothing inside of them.
No. Yeah.
There's like nothing.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, like, if you're a classic castle fan, this is more by 100% than what most of those old castle sets had. So, you know.
Well, if you have an empty room, it's pretty easy to build your own furniture to go into it.
Totally.
As opposed to if you spend a lot of those parts on furniture, it's way harder to retrofit the actual structure.
Right. Yeah. I'm a huge interior dude, so all of my designs that I've put into this have like full interior rooms and everything. But I've done actually a pretty good job of keeping the parts down while building a pretty fully fleshed out. Like the pirate one I did recently, the Skull Island. It's actually pretty low part count, but it looks almost the same size as something like this. I was actually surprised at how little pieces were actually in it because I didn't really consciously like do too much limiting in my brain when I was doing it. But anyway, it is also like you can do when you do like trick bricks, the call out trick bricks again, or shout out to him, but he does a lot of those where he adds like a little stable and a little blacksmith shop into his original Black Knight's castles. He does videos and shows how you can really flesh out the original set. So let's see here. We got well, and your point to the minifigs and the Timberwolves, I think, is probably one of the biggest things because they didn't show up on Pick a Brick, right?
Right. No, they've never been on Pick a Brick.
Right. So this is one of the biggest appeals to this one. Whereas like the minifigs, again, as great as they are and as good as they look in this, you can buy them all for 30 cents or whatever.
Right.
So it's like Absolute Garbage says this build has such a great use of color and none of this all grayscale nonsense.
It's definitely got a lot going for it. The black tower is very like nostalgic Wolfpack.
Totally.
The red roof also.
Red roofs. I was going to call that out. I get what you're saying with a lot going on, and you could probably tone it down slightly and make a little bit cleaner of a build. You know, I don't know if you needed the brown highlights on all these battlements and stuff like that. You know, I like the brown portcullis and maybe some Tudor stuff going on, but like there's a lot of brown elements around the base of these crenellations and things like that. I don't know if that's necessary. I get like patching, you know, rebuilding and stuff. That's hard it's a very hard thing to translate into Lego. People don't realize how tricky it is to make a ruin look like a ruin and not just a badly put together thing. You know what I mean? So
there's a pretty cool build technique in the roof. You can see it in the cutaway. That left roof section uses some like lift arm pieces and some Technic parts to allow that roof to really flap open. And the sides of the roof are actually snotted with some brackets and angled plates to get just the right slope. So
that's cool.
It's a very nice, clean roof design and lets you flip the access open and see the rat with the cheese up there in the roof area.
And you always got to have a rat with cheese. I mean,
and you know the working portcullis is cool. It's work built.
I think it looks nice. Yeah, it's very clean.
So this one gets like maybe an 8, maybe 8.5.
Yeah.
For the minifigures, I have to discount the value of the minifigs here because, like you said, like you can just get them. What a time to be alive if you're an army builder.
I know.
But you know, and the other ones, we probably docked them points because they didn't have good minifigures, and now it sort of seems unfair to dock this one because you can just get them elsewhere. But the building itself, is very good. I think the building I give like an 8.5, and then or an 8, and then you're going to give it another half point for the minifigs and the wolves and stuff. The fact you got the wolves in there is cool.
yeah, the wolves are a big part of it. I think that's pretty fun. But some random guy on the internet says, "Got to jump and catch the rest later today. How are you planning on resubmitting a Seaside Villa and the River Knights Watchtower? If not, is there a way to purchase the instructions for either of the builds?" I appreciate that, man. I we'll look at the River Knights Tower, see if it's worth resubmitting. Seaside Villa, probably not. I mean, it's such a weird design. I don't know that it really got a lot of attention. But yeah, eventually I'd like to do instructions. These are like 2,000 piece builds or more. So instructions for those are just a nightmare. Like they really are. It's just a time dump. But I appreciate that you're interested. And, one of these days we'll see if I can get more of these instructions up for people. The Bricklink design submissions are some of the hardest ones to do instructions for because they are so intricate like this, right? So some of my old classic style instructions are pretty easy to put together because they look like old sets and they don't use 10,000 pieces. Anyway, this was one of my favorites just because I think of the nostalgia of the wolf pack. You get the flags, you get a lot of, homage to them, the little gatehouse out here in front.
The wagon is actually very much a takeoff of the Wolfpack Renegades wagon as well. It was open. There's a secret hiding compartment inside.
Yeah. So you kind of almost get a gift with purchase, right? Like built set, right? So a redesigned Wolfpack wagon here is fun. Man, I like this one quite a bit. It was kind of one of my favorites out of this because I like the color. I like the classic feel, the green, the red. I like those primary colors. It really draws me in. So that's that. And then we have this isn't the most recent winner, but let's talk about this one. And then we'll pull up the last couple and then we'll call it a day. But Dustmark Keep. This one was, I think, just recently available to buy, right? I think they just ended the sales on this one. So what do you think of this one?
I really like it. I think sort of the Middle Eastern or African castle theme is sort of underappreciated, doesn't get enough love on it. So I really like this one. I think they did a great job with the sand sculpting down at the bottom of the towers. It has like these dunes that have kind of blown up against the towers. And then, the sandstone incorporated into the wall. Yeah. The front door is cool with like those cool pyramid slope bezels kind of on it. Yeah. Are you talking about like
the studded gate?
Yeah, the studded gate. Yeah, it's cool.
Beautiful. I love that. Yeah.
And then like the little timber accents coming off the top of the wall. I think this one does a really great job of not overdoing the texture and color and making like they sort of let the sand gradient die out as you went higher up on the wall, so it doesn't overwhelm the gray architectural elements.
I like the lime green use too, man.
The lime green foliage is a great color. It's a little bit more on the yellow side of greens, so it works really well with the tans. Yeah, and warms the whole build up a little bit.
I'm with you on all of those points. I also like the use of the purple. Did you pull that out? The purple
out of the snake guys.
Yeah. But just the actual use of purple bricks.
In the little like tutor section that's sticking out.
I think there's two. I think there's one on the back of the main tower and then one up on the front here.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yep.
Just really not being afraid to just put color in there, and I think it worked.
Not too much though. Like just the banners, and the couple little tutor sections. It's not overwhelming, but it's like a bold color choice for sure.
This one reminds me a lot of Age of Empires. You get and I think that's mostly to do with the location, the feel, the terrain around it. Because obviously anyone who's played Age of Empires knows there's multiple different maps with snow and sand and different things, and so there's cultures represented in Age of Empires with different style of builds and different like dusty things or a little palm tree in the courtyard or right to kind of help indicate where these castles are from and things like that. And I feel like this really plays into that a lot, just that overall feel, right? I wanted
There's
to
like a
pull-
market bazaar kind of in the inside, and
Yeah. Well, even this little wagon out front is fun with a little.
Yeah.
Is it a little jail
a
wagon? I
little
think.
chariot.
Yeah, I think. Is it a barred? It might be a
like a
prison
little prison
wagon.
cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
You
quite a
actually
bit.
get like a whole bunch. So the
Yeah.
king, the horse knight king, is who's being transported in that little wagon.
Okay. So there's a
And
lot
so-
of.
Yeah, so you get a horse knight king, you get a horse knight foot soldier, you get Kraken bandit, and you
Mhm.
get 2 griffin soldiers. So they like made full use of all of the available factions, which as much as we complain and cry about not having any castle, we've been
Right.
spoiled with factions lately, and these guys didn't miss a chance to cash in on that.
100%. And I know that's my gripe and my part of why I love this so much. My gripe is that we have to leave it to fan designers inside of a random Bricklink Design Program, a full thing for Lego to represent the factions that they themselves have created correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Because this should be a Lego set. Like this is actually, I think this might be my favorite Bricklink Design castle.
It's very good.
I just something about it, and I am kind of disappointed I didn't pick this up. Even though like all of our critiques that we talked about, you could brick it out, you could find the minifigs, like all the things. I get that, and it was kind of a spendy, castle to get a hold of. But I really do like this one a lot. Something about it, it works for me. The minifigs you spoke about, just having them all represented, whether they're doing trade deals, right? So some of them are
Right.
clearly enemies. It looks like the griffins are enemies, but there's the krakens and the snakes, or the krakens are maybe doing some like deals with them.
Mm-hmm.
Just the representation is fun. I think that's what kind of part of it is for me as well. What I like is that it almost feels like a hub. Like there's a bazaar, like you say, going on in the middle, so you get multiple different groups of people kind of meeting up here.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that. Something about that balcony with that lime green ivy growing on it and everything. Just, I don't know, man. It's very fun to look at.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff going on.
And there's really nothing in the language of the design language of the Snake Knights that puts them in a desert setting, right? Like this is somebody that decided, I'm going to make these guys like a North African or a Middle Eastern, faction.
Right.
And they're not coded to that in any way, but it works really well because I think once you put them in a desert setting, like sort of the limitation of the Snake Knights is that they looked a little bit like barony. I didn't really pick up a whole bunch of them because I didn't really know how to army build them.
Yeah.
But when you put them in a desert setting, now it's kind of like light armor because it's hot, like you wouldn't want to be in full plate armor in the desert. So
Right, so they have like leather.
Yeah, like leather armor, studded leather armor sort of works in a desert environment, and it makes a lot more sense.
That's a good point. Yeah. And again, that tiny little bit of purple on that main guy, which I think is a beautiful minifig. It's one of the better, I think, current Lego Castle minifigs. That little bit of purple like woven into those tunics or however it looks on it. The designer of this castle really pulled it into their banners and their little wagon, and again the Tudor wood purple areas and stuff. And I think they really defined this faction incredibly well for Lego just throwing one of the knights into a random creator set. So let me pull up this. I know, and again, this doesn't really matter because you can buy these guys on. Look
at that.
It's not a great quality image. I just literally screenshotted it, but this is so many minifigs.
Yeah.
This is what I want to see in a Lego set, right? Like,
yeah,
this is
absolutely.
Truly, there's love shown for Lego Castle right here, just in the amount of figs they put into this. So, it's a little bit of a blurry image, but you can kind of get the idea, right? Like,
yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah, what the king, you said, the king of the horse knights, his little bodyguard.
Yeah.
I love the guy with the key and the like hairdo down here.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, he looks like he's the lead jailer.
Yeah, he's like the muscle.
I also like the brick built saddlebag. It's like a little rounded slope with a
Dude,
ingot underneath it.
that's a really nice, simple design.
Yeah, and
That's
sort of makes up for the fact that we have no saddles still.
That's so sad. I just didn't even really think about that.
Like,
I mean, we need where's the saddles?
On the Bricklink actual site for this, one of the pictures is literally one of the Kraken Knights just standing on the back of the horse with the saddlebags. Like,
Yeah,
fully
like,
standing on it.
Just like standing on top of
On top of
not
the
even
horse.
sitting on it. Yeah, they're just standing on there. That's so funny. Yeah, you got like, yeah.
Give us a saddle, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. I did want to pull up this. Where did it go? We were talking about this one. Where did he? Oh, Lorem says, I bought Outlaw Force 10, and once I got it in hand, I kind of don't want it anymore.
Hey,
I just
you
thought it
haven't
was
opened it yet. Somebody will take it off your hands.
Kind of a funny comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, these are older comments. I just figured I'd drop these in. This one's my favorite so far, but then I'm a Wolfpack fan. Yeah, so that's kind of where I was feeling that for sure. And then Crusader says, this was my favorite Bricklink design castle that won. Feels the most like a Lego castle set. My only critique is that it feels too lush for the Wolfpack. I want to change mine to fall colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see this with more dark green or more olive green foliage and make it a little less bright.
Yeah.
Give it a little more moodiness.
Yeah, well, we all forget that the Wolfpack, the only one set they really had, the main one, is on a lake. It's in the middle of a water thing. So, like, they're technically kind of a water-based faction. So,
yeah.
I get that. And then Lorem's not a huge fan of the new prints. I greatly dislike the evolution of Lego printed parts for older factions. Interesting. I've overall thought they did a decent job representing them without just going directly one-to-one. I mean,
you have to modernize them. It's really hard to use the classic ones with the modern factions. Like, you kind of have to get with the times or else they look way out of place.
Yeah.
So I think they've done a good job with them, but everybody's entitled to their opinion, of course.
Yeah. I think there's maybe one or two that kind of bug some people. I know, especially the Black Knights one, that people are kind of having a problem with some of that. But overall, like, I guess this is more of a optimistic opinion. Is that we have piles and piles of the original stuff. Now, I know it's kind of hard to get a hold of sometimes. Maybe some people don't have that much of it, but it is available out there. It's all been done. There's millions of these printed shields across all over. So, like, we have that. It's kind of like the prequels to Star Wars don't make the originals go away. We still have what we loved. And if you don't like the prequels or the sequels, like, that's fine. It doesn't destroy, in my opinion, what we loved about the original. So that's kind of with the hats, right? We have the ponytail molded in with a pirate tricorn hat.
Right.
I think it's cool. It's very accurate to the time, the Revolutionary soldiers and even some of the pirates or whatever. Or you could put it on a female pirate and it works really well. I also have 500 of the original, like, tricorn hats, so I don't care that now they mostly only produce, the ponytail one. So I like the new stuff. You're right that, like, the Horse Knight shield and the Snake shield now does match pretty well with the recreations of the older shields because it's all kind of the same design language. Whereas, like, maybe some of the older basic things wouldn't necessarily match as well with some of the current stuff. So, but we have both. That's the great part, I guess, is what I'm saying. So, Dustmark is my favorite, I think, out of these. Not to say it's necessarily the most or best designed one out of all of them. I'm the guy that loves the trashy B science fiction movies and say those are some of my favorite movies, not to say that they're good movies by any means. So I'm happy to say this might not be the best designed one. I think it's up there, but it is my favorite one. Like, something about it is.
I think just the color scheme and the sort of less common Middle Eastern, North African, setting
it gives it a little bit of a refreshing, like new flavor that you just don't get with any of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for it just being a little more unique because of that exact point. It feels like it's from a different spot, you know. And again, that plays into like the Age of Empires kind of feel to it, which I'm a big Age of Empires guy. So
yeah.
So this is a Royal Nest. You said you hadn't necessarily seen this one yet.
This is first take. Yeah,
so here's your
first
impressions on the Griffin Knights representation. The Royal Nest. This one just won the most recent vote, and so it'll come out and be available years from now to purchase as they refine it. So, what do you think, man? What are we looking at here?
Feels like a modern Lowenstein castle,
right? Like it's kind of got those vibes. I actually removed Lowenstein from the slide, otherwise I'd pull it up. But
there are some really nice elements to this, like the round, all the towers being round. That's just difficult to pull off. I like the crenellations, like the little 1x1 crenellations.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Ones. It's the scale wise; those work really well for the castle.
Yeah.
The Tudor work is really nice. I love the angled beams in there. I'm definitely gonna go and look at how to do that. Yeah.
Pull that instruction book up later.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how those angled pieces are anchored, if they are at all, which they might just be loose friction fit in that.
And you can click into. You can click into. I don't think they would. I'm not sure if they'd allow friction fit.
Right.
But maybe
the only way they could maybe do that would be you could do a tube. See if there's a picture of the interior in there.
These aren't going to be too easy to see, but you could probably pull it up on your screen.
I was going to say you could make them attached if they were 2x2 tiles and you had them attached to a hinge behind the wall.
I see. Yeah.
Or something.
I get what you're saying.
I don't love the tower on the doorway's left, the taller one. I don't love that it comes straight off the wall and into the cone. There's something kind of missing there for some reason.
I wonder if the cone.
I want the cone roof to overlap a little bit, to have a little overhang.
Or have the cone surrounded by a crenellation.
Yeah, something.
Right, like a walkway.
I just don't like that line.
Sure.
But I like the window that's in the rectangular tower as well. That looks like it has some nice techniques in it to have. Looks like it's got maybe one of those three. What do they call those? The little part that's got three different bars on it, and it's a triangle. That's like a.
Yeah. That's a weird little part. I don't remember the name of that. It looks like it might be nested up there. Unfortunately, we don't have super close in images. I kind of threw them all in one slide, but this also, the interior isn't super crazy. It's enough, I guess. The bottom's just kind of basic open stud, kind of just chilling out. It looks like there's a jail down there. There's a rat. I do like, I know it's pretty standard, but I do like using that arch, the tree branch arch, as a staircase. I do that myself quite a bit. I think it works.
Nice really compact staircase. You get a little head clearance underneath.
It's kind of fun. That main window of the main tower kind of does have a little echo of the Black Falcon Winter, the snow castle. Just a very simplified, but kind of the same centerpiece window is kind of nice. So, what do we got here? We got some comments on the Dustmark heap. See, I'm one section behind. I keep talking to you about everything, and then I forget to forget to pull them up. But I think they say
K-State Park, Kansas State Park 3.
Oh, there you go. See, that's why you're here. I like the Transylvania set. I think that's their favorite one when I was talking about which one was my favorite one. And then let me just pull this up real quick. Sorry to go back. I don't mean to backtrack too much. Dustmark seems like the most fleshed out playable castle so far. Yeah, it it does have a lot of set design language for sure, which again, we've talked about. It could be a negative or a positive depending on what you're kind of, going for there. Clapmock says, I like the Outlaw Forest 10, but it's a bit too much rockwork and mountain, a bit too much of the dark bluish gray stuff. Okay, yeah, that's going back to the Outlaw Den. And then I think we're kind of up to date. Again, I skipped a couple of people. And I want to also welcome people who have jumped in and out, and I didn't necessarily see them. I know we got a decent amount of people watching. So thank you for joining. And I will try to usually pull up one comment. If you drop a comment, I'll try to, if I see it's a new comment from someone who hasn't said anything yet, I'll usually try to pull that in. So we're looking at the Royal Nest now. We got Minifig Makeover says, Seaside Market might not be the best looking one, but has an enormous play value. Really fun to flesh out your medieval world with a harbor. I even medievalified Tortuga Bay and added it to that one. That's cool. I like that. That's a fun thing to do. Yeah, I've talked to, not to like toot my own horn, but I actually got the guy who designed that set. I got him into digital building.
Oh, nice.
So
there you go.
I didn't get a cut, but like I'm waiting. No, I remember when he first jumped onto Instagram, he and I talked back and forth a lot through messages about, design and digital design. And then he's in I think he's Uruguay. I think he's from Uruguay or something. It's like really hard to get Lego there. Like shipped. There's tons of embargoes and like all kinds of tariffs and stuff. But I was like, hey man, like check out the digital stuff. You can download it if it's available. Like you can do whatever you want. And at least you can design without having to like buy the parts.
Right.
So like we did years ago. He and I were talking back
funny.
and forth a lot, and so he's the designer of the Seaside Market.
Nice.
He had no idea he would like he threw it into the running as on a whim. He was like, he had designed it years back and was like, he just kind of updated it for the thing and threw it in and then like kind of just left it and he won. And he was like, I know. It was a pretty cool kind of coming out of nowhere there. So let's see. The cylindrical towers aren't minifig accessible, are they? That is a big downside to the set. It really needed a bigger piece count to accommodate more interior space.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the back.
Doesn't look like they're accessible.
Not much. That's an interesting point. And that's the design language used for Lowenstein was kind of similar. It was most of those didn't have a whole lot of accessibility. I think there might have been like a tiny cutaway on the back of one, but
I'll tell you what I think I've decided on this one. It feels like a Disney castle. It's like a little too clean. It's like I think like all the snot round towers. There's because of the design of those, there's really limited opportunities to add some texture to those. They just end up looking like really smooth and polished, and everything just looks like a castle you'd find at a tourist attraction or a theme park, and not a real castle.
Yeah, I was gonna say for this one,
but I'm looking at other images online, and there are some like great play features. It opens up. It has a little courtyard in behind those round towers.
Right.
That I can't tell if you can. It looks like there's hinge plates on there, but I can't tell if it opens up so you can actually get into it.
The front. This is. I think the original concept of this being like a way more fleshed out, like Lowenstein, is even the front kind of corner courtyard area is similar shaped. Not quite the same, but yeah, it's definitely got some echoes of it. On your Disney take, which is kind of a pretty good take, I would also say what I was going to say before you said that was it feels more like a manor house with like a fortified gate, and I don't see it holding up very well to any kind of siege. Or,
no, there's no moat.
Like there's not a whole. And these aren't digs to the design itself.
No, yeah, it's very just clean design.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice design. It would look great in any medieval mock display or anything like that. Put it on a little cliff or something.
Yeah, a little cliff overlooking a peaceful little town with a bunch of like sheep tenders and stuff. It's not like a warfare castle.
I think that's it. And,
Yeah.
we're kind of geared to look at like, if you're going, especially coming off of this, like
Yeah.
this thing, it's
This
got a
is-
mounted ballista.
This is hardy.
It's a fortress. Like,
Yeah.
and then we pop into this. It's like, it's nighttime. It's like cute.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know.
Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Yeah. It's a nice little castle, but it's
funny. Fortification wise, it's right on par with the other one. There's a front door at ground level with no portcullis. They both have the same thing going for them, but this one just feels like a fairy tale castle, and the other one feels like one where you get your teeth kicked in, go out at night.
I mean, the doors look beefier on this, but
Yeah.
I think maybe the chain.
The other ones have like nice filigree on them. It's like it's a cool brick built wrought iron door design.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just very ornamental. It feels like
It's peaceful too. Yeah, ornamental and peaceful. And I think that's part of it. Our kind of brains are wired, especially with army building and things like that. Like we really, a lot of times we're looking at the defenses and the garrison, and it's a castle, so you instantly go to siege, or you go to like armies and warfare, which obviously is kind of understandable, but like this is very much feels peacetime. There's no opposing faction, it's just these Griffin Knights. And even the minifigs themselves, I mean, you really only get 3 Griffin Knights. Oh, it looks like there is one opposing dude to put in the jail, and a king. So it's a king and 3 knights, and then peasants. There's a lot of peasants. So it does really feel more like like a fortified manor kind of.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. I mean, that's different, right? So that's good to have some different things, mix it up a little bit. I always liked the modularity of the village castle sets. Seaside Market has that going for it. Yeah. And I really specifically only pulled the castles, the structures that were like castles from this. We'll do another video probably of the siege camp, the joust, the market, there's the potion shop, there's the inn, right? So there's a whole nother like group of medieval winners out of the Bricklink Design Program that are civilian buildings or like non-castle related medieval things. So that's another time. They shared a brick world that the towers would need to be redesigned a bit because they are not accessible at all. So that's what they'll do in the redesign process. So maybe they'll make a removable panel or something, but
yeah,
I'm gonna assume there's a lot of dense snot bricks in there keeping all those things in. So.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, so maybe they'll end up with rounded towers instead of strictly round towers.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I think the blue tone of the new gray really hurts castles in particular. Could use a nice dark dye job. Yeah, Lorem's always got the takes. He's always coming in with these takes, man. But those are fair. I mean, yeah, I was not a huge fan of light blue gray and dark blue gray and reddish brown. They weren't my favorite. Now it's saturated, obviously, the entire parts catalog because that's all we have, and I've kind of gotten used to it. But I get it. People still like the original stuff. I was a big, and still am a big, like original gray fan too. But all right, let's see if I can find, where did I even save? Did I even save it? Let me see if I can find my final slide. I should have it somewhere. That's kind of funny. I did a final slide this morning because I was running out of time last night, and I'm trying to see where I put it. You ever save something and it's auto-saved, like destination?
Yeah, where did it go?
Like, no, where is it?
Check the downloads folder.
Yeah, you gotta check most recent. Here it is. Found it. Let's see if it'll add here.
Yeah.
There we go. So this one was one of mine. This is the one that went in the Bricklink Design Series 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to think what you think. Do you think this one, coming in at looking at this one and thinking this might have been over detailed? I'm interested on your take. Do you think this one is suffering from the same thing? I did add a lot of detail. I was really trying to pull it in there, so.
They're close, but I feel like this one, the detail, I don't know, maybe because the other one is a little more ramshackle and there's more color mixing. Like here you've got, everything is pretty much light gray
and you have black and white Tudor accents.
Yeah.
And you have one color green. And I think if you go to the other one, there's dark gray, light gray, black, brown, olive green, regular green, right?
I do have a little bit of. I've mixed in some of the different greens, but I kind of hit it really well and almost used it as you see the dark green underneath the light green. It looks like shadows and stuff. So I was trying to make it mix pretty well.
So I think it looks pretty good. I think probably, and it might have been your color scheme to stick with the yellow. I think I'd like a light tan thatch.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, people because especially not only just. Well, so the original yellow was like a classic color, and I was trying to lean into classic, but I think that was a big thing. People were like, well, maybe like a dark tan or tan for the thatch would have pulled it a little bit more into like a more authentic feel. It definitely would lean more into the Bricklink design color choices a lot of people use, even taking the red and making it dark red on the like, tiled roofs, and then a lot of people like to tone it down, and that just wasn't my intent here. But I do actually understand that critique for sure, and I would be curious to color change it in studio and see kind of what we get with that. Could resubmit it with that and see what happens actually. But I did a lot.
Probably, I don't know how much support you got for this one, but I feel like you were very close, like on a winner here.
Out of all of the ones that I've done, this got by far the most comments. It really did feel like it was close. It was just that Transylvania Castle was really pulling the weight, and it just, I don't think they were going to choose two like large castle sets for that winner. So I feel like, and again, they don't give you stats, they don't give you anything. It's kind of assumed, but based on comments, based on things, you can kind of get a vibe for what's popular and what's not. And this one was holding its own with some of the most commented on, some of the most shared ones out there. So it felt like it was kind of moving like in the right direction for sure. So maybe a rehash of this could maybe do something for people.
I think too, like I know you like to build in like a really classic aesthetic, but even if you, now that you've seen maybe some of like the tighter pinstriping Tudor work, there might be opportunities to tighten up the Tudor lines a little bit more so they don't look quite as chonky. With some of those like kind of like more refined modern building techniques.
I was wondering about
places to just like up level this in a few spots.
I
think it is really close.
Thanks, I appreciate that. The Tudor out on the front, I think, with those panels that I used, sideways built, creates a thinner line there that maybe could be echoed in the main Tudor area there.
Like I could see the bottom of your main white Tudor with the two big white panels. Some snotted turntable bases along the bottom there would give you some finer lines.
I like that, man.
I've actually got an example of that I could show you.
That'd be cool, man.
And you can recess it a little bit to make it flush with the face, which is something we didn't used to be able to do, but now with all the brackets and stuff options we've got.
I like it. Yeah, I appreciate that input for sure. One of my favorite parts of this is the little awning I added to the back of it. Down below with the blacksmith area. It's like a little red striped awning thing.
It's cool.
I don't know, that it really, something about that really spoke to me. I'm not sure why, but this one, I was trying to create something that was a little different. So it's all built over the water on these rock columns and stuff, for the most part. I really wanted it to have a different, these castles, a lot of problems with them are that they are kind of big grades, right? On a rock or on a land area and stuff. So I was trying to work with building out something that wasn't quite that and trying to do something more unique. So it ended up being more of like a watchtower kind of a thing where you have this sort of lookout at the top here. But maybe changing a little bit of the colors, maybe mixing it up. I'd have to change out some of the torsos on these guys. I could probably keep the faction because the factions are stickers, I think, for the most part.
Okay. I really like your little riverboat guy with the loot down there.
Yeah, isn't he fun?
Has like a lot of character.
He's a cool guy. I like him. I like the little ferry boat that you're ferrying the cows around.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite features. Is this little
the
ferry
little
boat.
like ferry is fun.
I don't have the ferry back here for some reason. I do actually have the build, and it's incredibly big. Like
you built this one.
This one's in real life over here. Yeah.
Is it easy to carry around? We can now use that question from the chat earlier.
So you can see how big this is.
Does it swoosh? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great looking set.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. We're gonna lose the guy on the front here.
Yeah, don't break it.
Yeah, there you go. Like
Very
it's
nice.
big, and the top isn't even on like the tower.
Yeah.
So I put the top back over here, but
Right, because it doesn't fit on your shelf. That's how you know.
doesn't fit on the shelf. But yeah, so it's a substantial. Like it filled that whole screen up. You know.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell it's what 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 stories plus the top.
Right.
And below that black roof, there's actually that black roof pops out, and there's a bunch of treasure like hidden in below. So
Nice.
you got like a little storage there. So anyway, so that was my contribution. I'm kind of encouraged to maybe redesign a little bit of it here and there and add some color changes and some figs and perhaps maybe re-enter this one. But
yeah, I think it could do well. You know,
yeah. Well,
it's got to get everybody that voted for it last time to come back.
Yeah, and get the stream. You know, pull people onto the stream,
Right.
So that we use all the ways I can to find them.
Yep.
The Chris Jones likes the Alchemist Shop and said it looked really great. Not made it yet though. Yeah, I like that one too. Out of that series, I think that was one of my favorite ones. You've seen the Alchemist Shop with the big bottle?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I really like that boat raft thing. It's pretty unique. I appreciate that. Yeah. So it's a ferry. It was made to be like a ferry boat, like a medieval kind of ferry boat. So the little red roof pops off and there's a bunch of cargo underneath it, like little bags and barrels. And then there's a cow. And then next to the cow, there's more like barrels of like ale and things like that. So
it's always, you always have such great, like you really think out all the details of your builds for sure.
Dude. Yeah. That's my thing. Like I really do like adding those details. There's like a bedroom up on the top of the tower. Like each one of these rooms has like a purpose, kind of,
Yeah.
So yeah. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Lorem says, I like the architecture variations you have. The transitions are very eye-catching. Thanks, appreciate that. Retro jumped in at the end here. Good to have you, man. We did replace you. So sorry, bro. Let's see. They banned the incomplete turntable. Oh, that is right, Jordan. Yeah,
Oh.
They don't let you use that technique. But we could work something else out similar.
Yeah.
Retro has the parts for this one. His castle is amazing. He's waiting for the instructions. He actually did collect the parts for that. Lorem, I'll vote twice. Yeah.
Register all your email addresses.
Yep. This is a must buy. Hope to see it in the future. All right. Well, that's about it. We're going to wrap it up. We've been going for almost 2. Oh, we have been going for 2 hours. Sorry if I kept you longer than you intended, Jordan.
No, it's all right. It's a good
I
time.
really do appreciate you taking the time to look at these things and joining in and kind of covering for Jim while he's away doing his stuff. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks again. This has been another episode of the Brickstop Live show. We got to take a look at some of the Bricklink design castles, kind of threw our opinions around about Bricklink in general, and we will try to be back next week. Definitely leave a like, a subscribe, watch it back, give us the watch time, and Retro says thanks, Jordan, for filling in. And yeah, thanks, Jordan, for joining us again. I hope to see you at BrickCon. Hope to see some of you guys in the chat at BrickCon if you guys can make it out. And we will, we'll be back next week. So have a good weekend or a good week. It's Monday, so have a good week.